The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital. At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machinde, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m., Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besije every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
But at the church, though,
Tawali man, what's up?
man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, Bikoda. Do you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I
have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karohanga. At just 32 minutes past the top of the hour, I told you that today we are having a gentleman who is really passionate about patriotism in this country. And when you look at Uganda today, many of the young people have really brought up a semblance of I don't care about this country for me and myself, which brought up the narrative of for me and my stomach. Something that has really grown in the country. But following a 2-week patriotism training for student leaders at Nkumba University, we are going to have a conversation on this because a couple of leaders were trained in patriotism. The first question is, how is it that someone is reminded to love their country? Is there a problem? What really transpired? And how best can we improve the patriotism of Ugandans for their country? And the other question we ask, when we hear these patriotism trainings, what are they really? Is this patriotism or indoctrination? Are we trying to inbuild an idea in the minds of people in a negative realm, or are we really training them to love Uganda as a whole? That and much more is what we're going to be asking the Principal Communications Officer for the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps that is in State House. His name is Gumisiriza Jeremiah. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you
Did
so
I get
much.
you right?
Yes, you got the names
Good
right.
morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I am okay. How are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Happy to see you.
I am glad to be here. This is a very good initiative. I've been seeing it on social media, and I hadn't envisioned how innovative this is, so I am very glad to be here today.
Yeah, we are also privileged to have you. How is State House? You know, when we hear State House, we feel good things in this country. We feel it is well. How is Mr. President?
His Excellency the President, Jaja Wabazukura, as we call him, is very fine.
Yeah.
We had him on Saturday. We had a good time with him. We had a good interaction with the young leaders. Generally, we are okay.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Let's even start on that Saturday event. We saw you passing out of leaders, a very colorful ceremony.
Yes.
Mr. President was there. What was this really about? Tell us a story about that particular event.
So, the Saturday event was a climax of a 14 days training of University Guild leaders that includes guild presidents, speakers, prime ministers, GRCs. Then we also had NRM chapter leaders who also joined the group. And we also had patriotism chapter leaders. In a number of universities, we have patriotism chapters.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was a climax of 2 weeks training, and that 2 weeks included topics, theory lectures in class, and also military drills. You can call them military drills, but the essence really is physical fitness drills. Yes, to build body resilience. And you know, we keep saying you need to exercise, but we pay too much lip service to it, because when someone exercises, they think they exercise without purpose. So unless you attach a purpose
to your exercise,
to the something you're doing, then people don't see the value.
Exactly.
So that's why we attach the parade, that you should perfect the parade so that you can present it in a colorful manner. But the idea behind these drills is basically physical fitness.
Okay, you call it physical fitness.
Yes.
So I want to see it from another realm.
Yes.
Of, we know that power is taken by that. Isn't that the de facto means of really taking power? So a leader needs to know that those are the default settings.
Even then, it is about the resilience. If the reason you get exposed to such trainings is that in the event that you need to deploy these tactics, well, our focus majorly is in defense of the country, but they are applied even to those who are, you know, on the other side, which we don't encourage. Of course, we don't expect our graduates to involve themselves in subversive activities because of the mindset. But physical fitness is necessary for even your day-to-day life.
Exactly, and it even helps you live a longer life and have a greater impact. But before even delving into those nitty-gritties, how did we come to a point where you are teaching someone to love their father? What happened?
It's basically not teaching them to love their father, but how did we get here?
Yes.
That's a very good question. Over time, historically, we had civic education. I think you have seen the issue of civic education coming out in very many arguments. There is a friend of mine, the team leader of Public Square, Anthony Natif, when he had an opportunity to meet the president last year in State House, he said, Your Excellency, this country needs to go back to teaching civic education. Now, civic education basically teaches the responsibilities of the citizens. Yeah, and as the Constitution says, in enjoyment of your rights, you should know that you also have responsibility to the country. So that civic education was basically meant to teach the young people in schools and enlighten them on their duties as citizens. Now, because of the changing times, the curriculum changed. And by the late 1990s, we had moved from civic education to political education. So some of us did not study civics. I know even you are in my age group, so you must not have interacted with it. So we moved now to political education.
Before we move to political education, they say it was intentional by the system that we have here to not enlighten people.
No, you asked the historical question. How did we get here? And I'm giving you a chronology of how we get here to teaching patriotism or inculcating the values of patriotism. So now we have political education in the movement system,
Yeah.
and we move very well until we go into multi-party politics
Yes.
in 2005. Some opposition leaders go to development partners who fund our curriculum, and they say the government should be compelled to scrap political education from the curriculum of lower secondary.
It is the opposition that...
Why?
But is it true that
Why?
it was
Yes,
them?
I am telling you a fact.
Okay.
It was them. And the question was why? Now, within political education, there was a chapter on liberation struggles. If you studied political education, you had the MPLL, this one of Mozambique,
Yes.
you had the SWAPO, you had
Yeah.
ANC, then you had NRA, yeah, stroke NRM. Now, the political actors on the opposition side said it was unfair to them, opposition parties, for kids to be taught that NRA stroke NRM is a liberation movement, not a political party per se, but a liberation movement with advantages. So it means that this political education is exposing the young people to the tenets of NRA stroke NRM, but we, as the opposition parties, do not have the same opportunity to go to these schools and also give our own version. And within that political education, of course, these parties featured prominently, DP, UPC. But the way they featured also was more in the negative way of the divisive politics that were happening before 1986, of DP being Dinia Papa,
Catholics and Baganda.
You know,
Baganda based. Yes.
Catholic Baganda based Dinia Papa.
Yes.
UPC is Protestants.
Yes.
You know, so and these were pertinent issues that touched the well-being of the country.
Exactly.
And why we had turmoils before 1986. Now, when NRA takes over power, the NRM is now the movement,
Yes.
that is the political arm. But the NRA is the army, which culminates into UPDF.
Exactly.
Now, that is separated from politics. Now, you have the national resistance movement, but from 1986 through to the Constituent Assembly, the formulation of the 1995 Constitution, 1996 elections, 2001, we were in a movement political system.
Yes.
Which was within the Constitution. And they entrenched it in a way that if you are going to change it, then you need a referendum.
Exactly.
So by 2001, some people within the movement system were not contented. They were saying, let us open up
Yes.
for multi-party politics.
Yes.
And of course, you cannot also dismiss the pressure from the development partners on how they want democracy in Uganda to look like. Now, within the movement, for them, they came with the four principles. Patriotism,
Yes.
Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy.
Exactly.
Now, for them, they had their own form of democracy that they had put, which was merit-based. Yeah? More of a, not really single party, because even when the other parties were not allowed to operate, but it's their members who were eligible for election. Yeah? So you do not only have to confess that you belong to the NRM, to the movement, for you to be able to qualify for leadership. So even when we were in a movement system, we were not in a single party system.
Yes.
You know, you get it.
We're under the same umbrella, but people are different colors inside there.
So by 2001, there are voices agitating for multipartism. We want to contest as DP, not as John Paulo Kawanga. So the first referendum, I don't know if you are old enough, the first referendum was the Dove versus the bus. Now, and His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni then was on the bus saying we need to remain in the movement system, and campaigns went all over the country. And that referendum, people voted to remain
part of the movement system.
Part of the movement system.
Yes.
Now, I want you to see how, in a way, we don't have a say as the country in how we are led. You know, some of these things are put on paper, they are prophesied, people come and say we have the right to govern ourselves, but do we really have the right to? Do we make the decision?
No, we don't.
Or someone behind influences the decision? Now, this is 2001, I think so, 2001. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is campaigning that we remain in the movement system. And the people side with him and vote over 90%. 2005, there is another referendum.
Yes.
So what had changed within the 3 years? That one you will make research, and the viewers will make their own research. But we have
maybe what had changed is that in 2005, 2006, there was Museveni's term was ending.
Well, that could be an issue.
It was ending.
That could be an issue.
It was a very big issue.
That could be an issue.
Because the social contract was, Mr. President, after restoring the constitution, you're going to rule another 10 years, and then you shall have one person. In fact, one term, but if Ugandans don't love you, you can go. But if they give you another term, you would leave.
Yes.
So he, in a way, changed the constitution to suit himself in 2005, and I think that is where some of the reasons all the bases came from.
So now we come back to another referendum.
Exactly.
And His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is saying, let us open.
To be Jeko. Let's not say that was the word he used.
That was the word.
Yes. It was not about Uganda.
Let's let them go.
Exactly.
But they are Ugandans. No, but don't say it's not about Ugandans, because these ones were saying to be Jeko.
To be Jeko. It is not in a good way.
You know, if you are in a house and you have opposition within the house that borders divisionism, then it's better to tell these children of yours that to go get your own homes. You get it? These are people within the movement, but they are not contented. They are saying we don't want to be here. You know? So he says, okay, if they want to go to Bejeko Bakolechi, Bagende. And Ugandans voted to go into multi-party system. So 2006, after the election, the political actors on the opposition side go to these development partners of ours and say, we need to scrap political education from the curriculum.
In fact, someone has already debunked you, someone who's watching. He says, use more of Luganda Banange. But says, but civic and political education were scrapped off by this regime, not the opposition, as he suggests.
That's what I'm telling you. The person is preempting what I am telling him.
Okay.
Let him first understand how these things happen.
The heart
You
behind
can
the process.
have the government scrap something, not because the government wants, but because there is pressure. And this is the pressure I'm talking about. The development partners threaten the government that if you do not scrap political education from the curriculum, we are going to stop funding your education system. And the government has no option but to scrap it, so that we can continue to get.
So it was never so that Ugandans stay in that docile, ignorant way? Because
No.
some people say that this is deliberate, that the things that we see here are actually deliberate to keep Ugandans
That's the disadvantage
Not
of
enlightened
taking
enough.
things prima facie.
What do you mean, sir?
Prima facie is on the look of things, on the face. You look at my face and you think that guy is a bad guy. You don't look into the heart.
The quality of
Now,
character.
when people, and people develop these notions, they convince themselves that they are right, and they don't even want to listen to the explanation or to the other side of the story.
Okay.
So now, pressure is piled on the government to scrap political education because the opposition does not want young people in secondary schools to continue to be taught that NRA is a liberation movement that liberated Uganda from all these ills that were engineered by these political players in the opposition.
But which was real? One would call that a revolution. It was at the time, or, you know?
That's what it is. Now, fast forward 2009, His Excellency the President realizes that a vacuum has been created. You don't have civics. Political education has been scrapped. So you're going to raise citizens who have no idea and no understanding of their duties to the country. So he says, okay, if the development partners would not fund our curriculum, they are co-curricular activities. There are these clubs in the schools. Himself, he belonged to the Scripture Union when he was at Intari. There is Wildlife Club, there is Interact Club. All these clubs, when you come down here, you have even in Zambogo, you have Wasogansete, you have, you know, all these clubs are flourishing in schools.
Yes, they are.
Cementing something within the minds of the young people, creating an outlook of how they should interact with the world. And His Excellency the President says, why don't we make this a co-curricular activity? And he calls head teachers to Masaka in 2009. And he tells them, I have an idea.
Let's start from there. Christopher Awasa, you're saying good morning. Awasa Christopher, streaming live from Barara, that is Moobs. You say, I'm happy to see Mr. Ian Gumisiriza explain to the people that have not gotten a chance to know that history from the camp of Nkumba University. It's now time we take a break. We shall start from there, but also ask the questions. As the leadership trainings are going on, patriotism trainings are going on, what really is in those particular trainings? Are we teaching people to love Ugandans or indoctrinating them to serve one master? That and much more is coming your way. I'm still with the Principal Communications Officer for the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps, that is State House. That and much more coming your way after this break.